hooded figure, as well as a strange array of blue lights.
I'm trying not to let what I'm seeing influence my mind, because I'm trying. I mean, even now as I'm looking, I'm seeing lights actually appearing again out of walls and stuff. So there's lots of activity in this place. I'm probably seeing this completely clairvoyantly, but there's lights coming out everywhere.
And what does that mean?
Well, anytime I get that, I know there's some kind of activity around. I sense two different spirit people, and I'm getting them closer and closer. One, I feel, much taller man. One, I don't know if it's a kid or somebody very, very small. But I get the sense of that person whizzing around. Just times I'll get this sight or vision of like a shadow moving. The thing that keeps crossing my mind again and again is this tool shed or whatever, and I'm seeing it's just the shelves with various tools and things on it, and that keeps flashing into my mind. There's some kind of very strong Catholicism attached here somewhere, because I'm seeing like a cardinal, a guy with, you know, with the red...
The robe.
The
sash.
Yeah. And I just get this, whether it's a memory I'm downloading from the building, I don't know, but there's some very strong feeling of Catholicism in here as well. It's definitely Catholicism. Okay. Church of Rome.
We leave behind the Catholicism that played an integral part in this mansion's creation and move back up to the ground floor. And whilst Woodchester's kitchen may not have seen too much of its intended service, it is a room that I remember well.
There's definitely somebody, again, a spirit being around me, and he's following us around.
Is this the same man?
Same man, he's following us around. I've lost the little person, but I've still got the sense of the taller guy. My back is turning really cold because I can feel his presence there. I'm getting colder and colder, my back. Something's been removed. Tell me what it is then and I'll know. It's not making sense to me.
What's it saying?
He is making me aware of something. Something's been removed from here. Bless you. I don't know why. But it's almost like somebody's recently taken something out of here. It's just letting us know he's been watching people.
I think I know what it is.
If you know what it is, I have no idea, but it's his way of saying, I've been watching. It's almost like somebody's changed
You
something
just looked to...
Yeah.
What do you see there?
It's almost like a table with something on it. But it's not complete, it's like mechanical. I'm seeing like the workings of something. You know, like if you could see the inside of a clock or a watch, but the big wheels I'm seeing, but that's here, or should be.
There was justification in my amazement at Gordon's words, as I knew that a clock did once stand against this same kitchen wall.
Over here, very interestingly, is a clock. Now this clock apparently has been known to start on its own and stop on its own. There's no logical explanation to why that's happening.
It may now be gone from the kitchen, but the mansion's trustees do intend to reposition this clock back in its original position in the building's clock tower. And although few people have stayed long enough to warrant ever calling this a home, someone is clearly intent on watching our every move. And having felt two sensations elsewhere on the ground floor, Gordon was about to find an explanation for both his cold back as well as the imagery of a room containing tools.
I do get a feeling of somebody's definitely been murdered. It's to do with these tools, whatever connection they had to these, whether these are original tools, but it feels like I'm connecting to this place in this room. I'm absolutely turning freezing at the moment, absolutely stone cold. But I mean, again, my back, this icy cold. But this is very confusing. I've got to work it out. I really, really need to work this out. One part of me feels as though I've been like run through with a blade or a sword. This is where the cold thing is coming, and I'm somebody. That's one feeling, and then I'm getting this other feeling of being smacked over the head with like a heavy object.
Is there any way of picking up a nationality with this man?
Well, that's the funny thing, because I don't hear what he's saying. It's almost like a babble. It just sounds like gibberish to me. I feel as I'm just seeing somebody actually chipping away now. It's like, again, the moment I get a contact, I can then link into things and pick up psychically in their mind. And I'm actually saying, show me something you did, and I'm seeing him tapping with a chisel. So, like a stonemason or something like that. There's a connection to that.
It is true that a man is believed to have been murdered here using one of these tools. Over 100 workmen were employed to build Woodchester, but stories state that they fled the mansion in fear. So could Gordon's sensing of a murder be the reason for their sudden departure hundreds of years ago? But what is the language that he can't understand? Perhaps David Wells's reading in some of the mansion's many rooms would help to resolve this particular debate.
The only thing I've got up here that's different is a bit more residual. It's almost like more builders. Do you know what I mean? Like stonemasons or things. It must be residual because I don't feel as if they're actually here. There's 2 or 3 of them chipping away. So it's chip, 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 chip. I don't know if people might hear that.
Is this something from hundreds of years ago, or is this something recent?
This is from when this was built.
Right.
It's not restoration work. It's from when it was built. And there's this one energy, and I keep getting the word stonemason, stonemason, stonemason all the time. It's just in my head all the time.
With both psychics strongly sensing a stonemason, David felt drawn towards the chapel, a beautifully crafted but ultimately redundant shrine. However, it may have been intended for devotion, but did it witness death?
This space is really interesting for me. The stonemason at last comes to light. He is active in here now. He's kneeling beside, there's a stone just over here, and he's kneeling beside it.
Right.
Now, I'm not for a second suggesting this is what killed him, but he's either fallen or something that size has fallen on him. But in my mind's eye, I can sense him falling or something falling. I'm just wondering that's why they're throwing.
Right. Yes.
The throwing of stone in particular, because he seems really active to me. This seems to be one of the most active characters here. He seems out of place and out of sorts, almost, I don't want to use the word orphaned, but so little family, do you know what I mean? And they also seem, his family, he's telling me, he's French.
Oh.
He's telling me that they are, that's why he feels so lonely. He feels so separated from people.
So if Kieran, for instance, was to talk in French out loud to him, do you think we might get some sort of response, or a response to you?
Perhaps, yeah, perhaps. Maybe when we do more concentrated work.
Richard, yes, hearing what David's saying about the stonemason and the French connection.
Yeah, there is certainly French glassworkers were employed here. But the amazing thing is that EVP has been done in here, and they have actually picked up French voices on the EVP in this chapel.
In the chapel itself? In the chapel itself,
yes. Yeah, which is quite good.
Gosh,
interesting.
That's really fascinating.
So we know that a French workman appears to have fallen victim to the apparent curse of Woodchester. But are Gordon and David's foreign souls the same man? And having moved on just a few yards, David's forewarnings didn't relent.
It also feels as if things have been thrown at me. You know, I can sort of sense things clipping past me, which again could say there's someone or something here that doesn't particularly want us to be here. It's nothing to do with the cellar. It's absolutely nothing to do with the cellar.
So there's somebody up here. Is it one person?
There is one male, I think, who's doing throwing. Okay.
And why do you think he would be throwing things?
I don't know. It's either get out or to draw attention to himself, I presume.
Alone and seemingly empty, and now cloaked in darkness, we synchronise our cameras and split into 3 separate groups in readiness for the night vigils. Whilst David, Richard and both Johns bravely return to the cellar, Andy, our security consultant, assists Ian and Rachel's vigil along the 2nd floor corridor. That enabled me to join Gordon and Kieran, back in the tool room where 2 men allegedly lost their lives.
I'm getting that cold feeling again that I had earlier.
On your back?
My arms and my back. Both arms in the centre of my back. Definite presence here.